Hello everyone. Let me know if you can see my screen and also let me know if I'm audible. Then we'll start the session. Yes, okay, right. So I am audible, right? So I think we can start then. Hello everyone. My name is Mohit and I'm instructor at Coding Talk. This session will be on basically the face detection on using the Python and OpenCV library. So like basically we will be doing Python, right? So I wanted to know how many of you do not know Python at all, right? If you do not have written any Python code, like for example, not even just a print statement or for loop. So that because like we will be doing Python, like for the Python basics for around half an hour, and then we'll be moving towards a library like NumPy and Matplotlib and OpenCV. Okay, so there are some people who actually do not know Python. Okay, so like there are some beginner as well. So like if you know basics of C++ and C language or maybe any other language, just any programming language, that would be sufficient. So we'll be seeing some basics Python. So right. So I think we can start the session now. And so obviously like we have to write the code in Python. So there are basically two major platforms that we generally use. One is called Jupyter Notebook and the other one is called Google Colab. So those who already have Jupyter Notebook, Anaconda, they have installed the Anaconda and other libraries. Like if you have Jupyter, you are good to go. Otherwise, like those who do not know about Jupyter, they are hearing it for the first time. What is Jupyter? And they are like, people will be like in shock what the Jupyter is. So what they can do is they can use Google Colab. So to use Google Colab, what they can do, search for Google Colab. Right, and just click on the first link, this link, the Google Colab, this one. So if you have PyCharm, yeah, this is fine. So PyCharm will also work. It's just that we prefer to use Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab because it is comparatively easier to understand code there, and it is like much attractive, more attractive than like normal PyCharm or if you use Sublime as well. So Python IDE, I generally do not prefer Python IDE. It's better to use Colab. It's not that you cannot run Python code on Python IDE ideally, but it's better to use Colab. So click on the new notebook after writing this colab.research.google.com. Click on this new notebook. Yeah, Google Colab is very similar to Jupyter Notebook. So if you have Jupyter Notebook as well on your laptop, you can also use that. VS Code, it's totally your choice. You can run the whole code in VS Code as well, but VS Code is good. But for the beginner programming for learning Python, I always prefer Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab, and you will understand why I'm saying this. Right. So now what we can do, so you will see this type of interface, right? Just click on this, the title tag, and you can rename it as you want. So maybe you want to write Python basics. And this is basically known as cell. You can see this thing, this block, this is known as cell. And we write code, Python code on this cell. which is better? It's not about which is better. Like a lot of people do code on Google Colab, and some people also do code on Jupyter. So it's perfectly fine. Like both are okay. It's just that Google Colab give you free access to GPU. That is like better advantage on the Google Colab. So yeah. Otherwise, both are same. DS algo, like very basic of DS algo. For example, if you know about stack and queues, that would be sufficient. We're not going into a lot of detail about DS algo like trees or graph. So I hope this much font is fine. So let's get started with a normal Python basic session, right? So if you are very beginner at, I guess this much is fine, right? Yeah. If you're very basic beginner at Python, so you know about just the print, like we always start with hello world. So in Python, we print anything using this command called print, and whatever you want to print. For example, hello world. And to run this cell, either you can click on this button. So let's click on this button. So what it will do, it will print the output of this cell or whatever the command you are writing uh, in the same page. So you don't actually have to run this script again and again. So it's initializing for the first time. So it will be allocate some memory and it will initialize. And now you can see it has given the output of this command, right? Or the better version is to use shift plus enter. So this is the comment. So hashtag is comment in Python. So it's better to use shift plus enter. So whenever I run the code, I always use shift plus enter. You can also do this this button. As you can see, this is a run button, run cell, right? So it's better to use shift enter. That would be like you don't have to actually use your mouse again and again. So yeah. Okay, so I'll zoom the screen, so don't worry about that. Okay, so how do we create variables in Python? So generally, we don't put any data type. We just directly start with, for example, n is equal to, let's say, 5. So this is how we create the variable. It's so simple, right? And to execute it, you again do shift plus enter, right? So this has been executed. Now, if you see print n, it will automatically say that n is 5 because you know that the variable, the value that n contains right now is 5. Okay. So it does. We generally do not give any data type while initializing the variable, but obviously it will have it will have a data type. All the variable have some data types. So if you ask what the type is a function that can actually tells you the data type of any variable. So be any variable, right? So if you ask what is the type of n, as you can see, it says integer, right? Okay. So in Python, what you can actually do is, right now it is a type of integer variable, but you can also store string in this variable. So you can easily convert variables from one data type to another. Like in other languages like Python, sorry, in C++, C or Java, you generally cannot do this, right? So if you want to change this to maybe hello all, this you can do this, right? And if you want to print n, you can easily print n. And let's ask what is the type of n right now. It is a spelling mistake, so it will give you error because type will have obviously spelling of typ. Okay. Type of n, and again do shift enter. Okay, so this one is asking shift plus enter is for run and add cell, right? What about run only? So if you want to just run, press Control and enter. It will stay at that cell only. Right? Okay. So if you know about like basics of conditional statements, for example, let me just add a text cell over this thing, and let's write conditional statements. So if you know about if conditions or even the for loop as well, so it's very easy to write this like if conditions or the for loop in Python. So generally, you what you do is, let's suppose you have a variable n as 7. You do if n is greater than 10. What you want to do? So print, let's say n is greater than 10. Let's just say. And for the else part, what you can do, again a statement, n is smaller than 10. So I hope no one has any issue while writing this if condition and else condition. So it's like very easy. And if you want to write if else, it is again not very difficult. You will just write elif. So in other languages we have else if, but in Python we have elif, and then we can do maybe elif. The condition could be if n is less than 5. I can say n is between or n is smaller than 5, and in else part I can say n is between 5 and 10. Right. So now if you see, it will say n is between 5 and 10. So I'll circulate the link for this notebook as well. So let me just complete the notebook first, and I'll put it on GitHub and provide you the link. So don't worry about that. So I'll provide you all the code that we are doing in this session. So like basics of if conditions. One most important thing to note about Python is you do not have curly brackets, right? Unlike other languages, C++, Java, you do not have curly brackets. Instead, what you have is this colon, and indentation is very important. You have to take care of indentation, because you cannot do this on the maybe on over here, because it should have an indentation level 1, because this line is inside else part. So maybe let me just write one more thing. Let's say I am inside else, right? Or let me just put it over here, and let's just give ns2. So I am inside second block. So you will see it will print this statement as well. But if you write this statement over here, not giving the indentation, what it will do, let's just see. It is giving a syntax error, right? Because you cannot print or you cannot write this on the left side. If it is inside else if, it should have an indentation of level 1. So indentation actually tells you what is inside a block, right? Okay. So the session will be till 10 p.m. and if you stay till 10, you will also be getting the certificates. Right. So let's move forward for loops, right? So let's suppose you have a variable I is equal to 0, and you can write a loop like while I is less than 10, and again you can see you want to create a block. That's why you put a colon, and let's say and I plus equal to 1. So what it will do, it will print values from 0 to 9, as you can see, because I is less than, I have given a condition called I is less than 10. If I give I is equal to less than equal I less than equal to 10, it will print from 0 to 10. The indentation is in Google Colab, it's I guess 2 blocks, 2 spaces. So 1, 2, 1, 2, as you can see, 1, 2. In Jupyter Notebook, the indentation is 4 spaces. So it's totally fine, like if you have 4 spaces as indentation or 2 spaces, right? But if you want to print this whole numbers into single line, you can give one more parameter. The parameter is named as end. So as you can see, there is a parameter called end, and if I provide, so by default the value of end is /n. By default, it actually means how do you want to end any statement. So this is the by default thing, end. But let's suppose I can replace this to comma. Right? Yes, Google Colab is totally free. So now you can see after printing all the numbers, it is giving a comma. Right? So I hope this is fine as well. Similarly, you have for loop as well. So there's nothing like very fancy in for loop or while loop. So if you want to write a for loop, you can simply say for element in range. This is range is a function, and you can say 20 and print ELE. So this ELE is basically like a placeholder. For example, in the while loop, you use the placeholder called I. Here you can use any variable, right? Maybe you can use I or ELE as well. So it's totally fine. So now you can print ELE as well. So as you can see, and if you want to print in a single line, just give end as space or comma, whatever you want to give, and you can see. So in this range is a function in Python. So what it actually takes, it takes two values. From where do you want to start and where do you want to end? So if I want to generate numbers between 10 to 20, so you can simply give 10 to 20, and it will print the values between 10 to 20. And why not 20? Can anyone tell why it is not printing 20? Yes, this ELE is integer. Yes, it will be integer. Okay, so it basically it is excluded, right? So this first right n minus one priya, right? 20 is not included. It is always like all the functions of Python. It include the first element or the first parameter, and the second parameter is always exclusive, right? It is always exclusive. For example, if you want to generate numbers in a gap of 2, what you can do, you can give a third parameter, which is the step size. So earlier, what this function was doing is it was generating numbers like 10, then 11, then 12, then 13. Now what it will do, I'm specifying that step size is 2. What it will do, it will directly go from 10 to 12, and then 12 to 14, and then 14 to 16, and so on. So now let's see if I give parameter 2. So let's just see this. It will take a step size. As you can see, 10, 12, 16, 18, and that's it. It will not print 19 and 20 as well. Okay. So I hope this is fine. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's talk about functions. Right? So I know like this is not very difficult. So we are just doing some basic things in Python. So maybe like after 15, 20 minutes, we'll move to other part like NumPy and other libraries. So let's see how we can write any functions. So functions in Python, right? So in like Python functions, it starts with DEF. So DEF is basically like define or definition, as you can say. So define and you give a function name. For example, say hello. And then these parentheses. You can give any parameter, like if you want to take any parameter, you can take, right? Otherwise, it's totally fine if you do not take any parameter. So for example, now whatever you want to do, you can do, right? So let's say hello and plus, and let's take a name which is by default none. So this is default parameter, and if you do not want to give default parameter, it's totally fine. You just give this variable called name, and here you can say name, right? So let's just say this is my small, very small function. So uh, I can call this function say hello, and let's give name as coding blocks, and let's do shift enter again. And as you can see, it will print hello coding blocks. So maybe I can put space over here. Right now you can see hello coding blocks. And if you want to, okay, so this code, I don't know how it will come here. Now you can see. So if you want to give any parameter, you can give it like default parameter. You can also give it default parameter. Like if you do not provide any value, it will take none, right? Also, let's say there's a function called calculator, and you give two numbers, right? A and B. So what you can do, you can return multiple things from a function. So this is like very interesting thing that you can return multiple things. So how you can do this thing? So let's say if you want to return the sum, you will do a plus b. Difference, it will be a minus b. Product, it will be a into b, and divide, it will be a divided by b. Now to return multiple things, you can do return a in basic in like maybe in parentheses, or if you just simply write a b c and okay, sum, you have to return this thing, sum, difference, product, and divide. Yeah, you will get the certificate. So if you attend the session till 10 p.m., you will get the certificate. So don't worry about it. Okay, so now let's call this calculator function, and let's give two numbers like maybe 3. And you can see it has given me 4 values. First one is add, then subtract, this is the product, and this is the divide. So I talk about this, how this function can return multiple things when we do data structures. So maybe like in next 5 minutes. But it is actually giving a tuple. So we'll talk about tuple. What is tuple? But you can do return like this. So you can return multiple things as well, right? So this is one of the most like one of the biggest advantage in or the functions in Python, that you can return multiple things. And if you do not want to return anything, you can also just don't write return anything. So it's not necessary to always write return. Okay, so these are some basic Python. What we can do now is talk about some data structures. So there are different data structures in Python. Like everyone know what is data structures. So can anyone tell what are some different data structures in Python? You must have done, right? Some of the data structure like list and yes, it return tuple. Okay, so data structures. Okay, so like a lot of answers are coming, and everyone giving list tuple, dictionary sets. So all this things, right? Dictionary. So generally, these are popular data structures that I have written: list, tuple, dictionary, and set. So these are like popular 3 or 4 data structures that we have in Python, like already pre-built data structures. So let's talk about list first. So you must have done, such those who are new to Python, you must have done some array things like in C++ or Java. So list is actually similar to array in C++ or Java, but the thing is you can have different type of elements in list, right? For example, you don't actually have to specify that this list will be only a integer type list. You can also give float value or a string value like a hello world, or maybe a boolean value, or even a list inside a list as well. So let's see how to create a list. So this is list L, or I can say Li. Just say Li. This is not one. So don't write one and I. This is Li. And you can create lists like four and provide any numbers, right? Let's say I am giving these four numbers or the seven as well. Difference between return and print. So it's not very difficult to differentiate between return and print. So what this print statement will do, print statement will print on the console or whatever the output wherever you are running this Python script. Whereas what this return statement do is this return statement actually returns this return statement actually returns these quantity back to this expression. For example, if you have something like you say a is equal to this value, right? So you will give everything in the variable called a. So this is the work of or the role of return. Return actually returns you everything, whatever you are returning into a variable. So if you are storing this, you will get this variable a, and it will have all these values returned. Okay. So this is how you can create some a list. And if you ask what is the type of li, it will be it will say in a list. And everyone know how to extract the first element. It will be li of 0, as everyone know, right? Because in Python and other languages, generally indexing start with 0. So this is li of 0, and it is printing 4. And if you want to access this 6, what you will do? You will print li of 1. Print li of 1. But in so there is a concept of reverse indexing or the negative indexing. What you can do to access this element 7, what you can do, you can write li of -1. So this is very interesting thing. Like you can access these elements from the negative direction as well. So everyone know that to access this 4, what you will do? You will write 0. To access this 6, you will write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Everyone know about this indexing. But in Python, we have negative indexing as well, which actually means indexing actually means to access this 7. What you can do? You can write -1 because this element is -1. And -8, it is actually 2. Right? So this is an important concept where you can use, this is the, you can say positive indexing or zero-based indexing, and this is actually your reverse indexing or negative indexing. So if you want to access this 9, what you can do, you can either write -3 or 3, right? So we'll talk about, we'll use this negative indexing later, right? Li of -3, and it will give you 9. Right? So there's a no difference, right? There's no difference between single quote and double quote. What Ranjit is asking, can you please take a number n, and in a for loop, can you take those n numbers with space separation? Okay. Maybe we can take this question later on. So it's not very difficult to take this question. Okay, so now what we can do. So so this was negative indexing, as we have already negative indexing, right? So there's a like a very popular concept known as list slicing. So this is like very important to understand what is list slicing. So to yes, we can change the size of the list after creation. So we can delete some element, or we can add some element as well. Yes. Okay. So list. What is list slicing? Let's talk about list slicing. This is like very important thing. So to take one element, you can simply write li of 0 or li of -1, right? but to take list of elements. For example, if you want to take these 4 elements, let's just say you want to take these 4 elements from a list, these 4, just a second, these 4 elements, right? So what you can do, so to take these elements, what you can do, you can use list slicing, and the syntax of list slicing is something like this. So you take li, and it will be start index, then you put a colon, and you do end index +1. So this is the syntax for list slicing. So what we can do, so the start index is basically, what is the start index? So if you want to take from here, from 6 to 8, you want to take from 6 to 8, what is the start index? It is actually 1. And what is the end index? It is 4. But we generally, we always put +1 as well. Why? Because this 4 will be exclusive otherwise, right? It will be exclusive. So let's put 1 colon 5. Why 5? Why not 4? Because it will exclude that thing otherwise. Let's put li 1 colon 5, and you can see it has given me a sub list that is known as list slicing, right? So I hope this is you understand this thing, right? So this is list slicing. So basically what this list slicing actually is, you are putting some constraint. So let's suppose you have this list 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. What this list slicing basically means, you are putting some constraint on the starting part, on the left part, or the starting index, and then you are also putting some constraint on the ending index. For example, if you give 1 to 5, it will go from here till here, right? Till here, because it is the index is here 4 and you are giving 5, so it will go till here. So if you do not give any index, so something like this, li, there's no index, no starting index, and there's no end index. So let's just say this thing. Can anyone tell what is the output of this statement? Li and just a colon. There's no starting index, there's no constraint on starting, and there's no constraint on ending. So what would be the output of this? Okay, so right. So it will give you the complete list, right? The complete list, because you are not constrained, you are not putting any constraint on the list. And as someone says that, can we change the element of list? So obviously, yes, you can do. So right now you have list as this li. You have some functions like if you want to change the value of the first element, so you will do li of 0 and let's say 99. And now if you see what is the li, it will be 99, right? The first element has been changed. Okay. So there are other functions as well. So you can check these functions. So if you put li and then dot, so you will see there are like lot of functions. So the first function is called append. I hope everyone know what this append function does. So it will take value and it will append at the end of the list, right? You know about insert function, right? What this insert function will do, it will take element and it will take position as well. So it will take element and position, and then it will insert that element or that position. Okay. Everyone know what this sort function does? Obviously, it sorts the values, it sort the element, all the elements in the inside a list, right? And then reverse element, and then remove, and then pop. So you can check all these functions if you want to, but like I'm not going to these details because like I expect like most of you already know about these functions. Like some of these functions, obviously, like not all these functions, but I think it would be fine if I just move ahead from this function, right? Okay. So this was about list, and obviously, like we will talk a lot about list. We will see different type of things, right? And inside the list. So as I said in the beginning of the session, that list can also contains heterogeneous elements, right? So let's suppose I'm creating li2, and it can have heterogeneous elements like 4, 6, and then hello, maybe false as well. So this is the Boolean statement, and it could have another list as well. So let's suppose 8, 9, 10, and let's suppose another numbers like floating points or 2.3, right? So you can have all these elements inside a list. So it's totally fine. Difference between append and extend. So what append will do, for example, if you have list like 1, 2, 3, and you append a different list like 4 and 5, if you append this thing, the whole list, what it will do, it will append as a list only. But if you extend, if you use this function called extend and you pass this list, what it will do, the result will be something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will unpack this list first and then it will append. So basically, extend is a different type of append where it actually does not append the whole list, right? uh, Harsh is asking notes. Notes like if you want to ask for this thing, this notebook, or like the code. If you ask me for the code, I'll provide the code on GitHub, and you can easily access all the codes. Right. So now, if you want to print li2, you can see it is printing heterogeneous element. I'm not giving any error, right? There's a okay. So this is all about this is all about list, right? So we use list a lot of times in Python. So like in C++ and Java, we use arrays a lot. Similarly, we use list a lot in Python. Yes, you can use set or tuple inside a list. So let's talk about tuple. So what is a tuple? Tuple is exactly anyone can anyone tell what is difference between tuple and list? Like those who know already. Okay, so tuple is basically read-only list. So in one line, if you want to say tuple is read-only list. For example, like in list, you can change the element, right? But in tuple, you cannot change any element. Like tuple is immutable. So how do we create tuples? You create a variable tup, and we start list with square bracket. Tuples start with curly this parenthesis. Right, lists are mutables while tuples are immutable. Correct. So, for example, if you want to create a tuple, you can simply do this tuple. If you ask what is the type of tup, it says tuple, right, as expected. If you want to access the element, you can do this thing. Tup of 0, it will return you 5. It's perfectly fine. The only change is you cannot change this variable. In list, you can change this variable, but in tuple, you cannot change this variable or any value. If you want to change this last value, you cannot change it. So let's try to do this and let's see what error it throws. So let's suppose if I want to change this 0 element to 99, it will say tuple object does not support item sign, right? Because obviously it says that you want to assign a value of 99 to this first element, and it will not allow you to do this. So that's why we say tuples are immutable, right? And everything is fine, right? You can see there are like two functions in tuple. So you write tup and then put a dot, and you can see there are two functions. One is for count and one is for index. That's it. You cannot add, you cannot append, you cannot sort, you cannot reverse, you cannot do other things in tuple. So generally we use tuple when we have to either declare some constant like the value of pi or other things, or where we do not want our data to be changed. For example, let's suppose you have a data where you are putting some salaries of employees, and if you are putting it in a list format, what people will do, they can change the value of salary of employees, right? But if you are putting that data in a tuple format, no one can change that. Okay, count function actually will not give the length of the tuple. It will actually count the value that you are giving, how many times this is appearing in the inside the list or inside the tuple. Face detection will start around what time? Maybe after half an hour. Length function give you the length, right? If you ask what is the length, so the function name is len. So if you ask, you can ask like length of li. It will give how many elements are there. Count actually give you the count of any particular element that you. Okay, so let's move ahead and let's not talk a lot about tuples. Okay, so like a lot of people are saying that move forward to NumPy and other libraries and to face detection. So maybe like let's just small have a discussion on what is dictionary, and then we'll move ahead from this Python thing, right? Like basics of Python. Okay. Aman Tripathi is saying is x is equal to 1 comma a tuple, right? So it's not necessary to put curly like the parenthesis for being a tuple, but what you have to do is this is important 3 comma, this is important, right? Or if you say this is a tuple, everyone knows this is a tuple, but if you do not put this parenthesis, it will again be a tuple only. It will be a tuple. So this comma is important. This comma. This is again a tuple, as you can see. This is not an integer. This is a tuple. Okay, so let's move fast. Okay, right. So dictionary. Let's talk about dictionary. So dictionary is like the hash map. If you have heard about it, hash map in C++ or Java, hash map Java. So it's exactly same like this. What is the purpose of hash map? Is actually your retrieval time is very less. So it is order of one. So for example, I am creating a hash map or dictionary, maybe a canteen menu. Let's say you have a canteen menu where you have items like what are the menus in the canteen and corresponding to their prices. So in dictionary, the data is stored in a format of key value pair, key value key value pair, right? Data is stored in the format of key value pair. So let's say I have a canteen menu and dictionary is created like from a curly bracket, and let's suppose you have a key like samosa and its price is, let's suppose, 10 rupees. You have another item. You have another item, let's suppose, juice with a price of 20, and you have a pizza, let's just say, with a price of 50. Oh, I don't know how this list, but let's just integer 50, right? So, like those who are asking is 1 comma a is a tuple. So, I think you can try on your Google Colab. Like if you are coding, it's perfectly fine. Okay, if you are not coding, so yes, this is a tuple. So maybe trying out code on your machine. Then, okay, so if you see what is the type of canteen menu, you will see it is a dictionary. And how you can access these elements, you can simply write canteen menu, and then what is the price of pizza. Just put the key value, the key, and you will get the value, as you can see, 50. Similarly, if you ask for juice, it will give you the juice. But let's suppose you ask for fruits, and fruits are not there, right? Fruits are not there. Okay, fruits are not there. So what it will do, it will throw you an error. Okay, that fruit is not there, and it is giving a key error. So what you can do, let's suppose you want to introduce this new element called fruits, and it is actually the price is 25. So you can add new element like this. So this is actually adding new element, adding new elements to your list or to your dictionary, right? So this is how you can add new element. And now if you see what is the canteen menu, you will also see this fruit as well over there, as you can see, right? And it's not necessary to put this just integer. What you can do, you can also use a list. For example, there are different type of fruits. One fruit has a price of 10, one fruit has a price of 15, 25, and then 35 as well. So you can also put the values in a format of list as well. No, if you use double quotes or single quotes, perfectly fine, like both are okay, right? So these are some basics of Python that one must know before doing some project or like a mini project in Python or a machine learning. Okay, so I think like we can move ahead, and if you have any doubt, so what I can do, I will download this notebook. So just click on file. Like if you are doing some code and you want to save this code, by default it will be saved on your Google Drive. As you can see, it will be saved on your Google Drive. You can save this again if you want to save this. And right now I will download this notebook and I'll put it on GitHub, right? So so that you all can access this thing. So everyone can access the notebook. So okay. So I'll provide you the link. Please explain sets. Sets is nothing. It's just similar to sets you have studied in class 11, right? Set contain unique element and like the most important properties contain unique elements. Like if you add multiple things, the same thing multiple times, it will contain only single time. Set is non-index unordered pair of arrangement. Okay. So right now I'm working which platform? I am working on Google Colab. Okay, so what you can. Mm, okay, I haven't committed. Okay. Can't delete elements from where? Okay, so what you can do, you can go to this link cb.lk slash 19 aug slash code. So this is the link where you can find all the codes. Right. So I'll write this link again. cb.lk slash 19 August slash code. So I'll add the another notebook in the same link. So maybe you can save this. Yeah, I have posted in the chat option. Okay, so now I think we can move ahead, and if you have any doubt, so you can see this notebook and you can ask if you have any doubt. Otherwise, let's move forward and let's talk about libraries like NumPy and Matplotlib. Okay, so let's create a new notebook, right? And let's see. Okay, so let's write libraries. Python. Okay, so why do we need libraries? Like there are like a lot of libraries in Python or maybe other languages as well, right? So why do we need libraries? So I hope everyone know how to multiply two matrices, right? And if I ask you to write a code on C++ or Python or Java to multiply two matrices, I expect that everyone can do. And that code will take around 10 to 15 line or around 20 line to write that code. But libraries provide you support that rather than wasting your time or investing your time or putting your time on writing so small code that are actually everywhere. So these libraries provide you this function that you don't have to actually write the code again and again, and these provide like the basic code, the basic like multiplying multiplying two matrices or taking the determinant or taking a transpose of a matrix, because at the very core of machine learning and data science, it's actually mathematics, like or the linear algebra that are the two matrices are multiplying, or maybe you're taking the differentiation, right? These things are happening like inside the very core, inside the very bottom of machine learning. So to avoid these complexity of like combination there, to avoid this code complexity, we use these libraries. So one popular library is called NumPy. NumPy is basically for mathematical computation, like NumPy. And to install any libraries, like those who are doing this code in their Jupyter notebook, they can install using pip install NumPy. uh, but like this Google Colab give you free access to all these libraries, right? You don't have to actually install these libraries, it is already pre-installed. So you just need to load these libraries. Yeah, there are a lot of libraries, even SciPy as well. Okay. So you can import directly NumPy. So I can say import NumPy as NP. NP is a short name for NumPy. So basically you are giving alias. Alias is like another name, right? So let's create a list. So let's suppose I'm creating a list li where I'm giving numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this. Or let's create another type of. Okay, so this is ARR1. So the function is a range. So in Python, we talk about range function. Here we have a range, and let's suppose you give from 10 to 20, and it will create an array. So in NumPy, we do not have a list. We have arrays. How we can say? Let's ask what is the type of ARR. If you ask what is the type of ARR, it will not say list. It will say numpy nd array. Nd is like n-dimensional array, right? And also, if you want to print ARR, let's just do ARR print and shift enter. Now you can see this look like a list, but it is actually not a list. It is a numpy array. So numpy array has a different behavior than list. So list, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it how list and numpy array are different. But wherever you see this array has been written over there, like before this list, there's a term or keyword called array. You will understand that this is a numpy array. You can ask what is the type of ARR, and it will say it is a numpy array, right? Okay, so what numpy array does is, let's take one basic example. This is a list, right? This is a small list. If I add 1 to it, what will actually happen? Can anyone tell what will happen if I, this is a list, this is a pure Python list, right? This is a pure Python list. And if I add 1 to it, what will happen? Aman, from NumPy import asterisk. Yes, you can also import asterisk as well, but most of the time I prefer import NumPy as NP and then use that function. Okay, so Priyansh error. So Tushar 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's just see what actually happens if we do this thing, right? And now you can see we expected that the output should be 2, 3, 4, 5. We expected this thing, right? Because we are adding 1 to the vector, but it is not doing as we wanted, right? What we can do now, let's try this on array. So this is array, this is numpy array, and now let's add 1 to it. And now you can see it has, like, all the numbers are incremented by 1. Why did we write as NP? So NP is basically like short form of NumPy. If you want to give your name, you can also do that as well. Like it's generally because NumPy is like beginning, and we do not write NumPy always. NumPy dot function, NumPy dot function, NumPy dot function. So that's why we give a small name called NP. So it's perfectly fine. If you give your name as well, it will work fine. So the behavior that we actually wanted, this NumPy library can give this behavior, right? If you are adding 1, or maybe if you are subtracting 10, if you are subtracting 10 from all the elements, you can see this thing, right? So this was the most important thing in machine learning. Like, you are adding some vectors, and in Python, actually you cannot add vectors, right? Because list cannot add to list. It will get concatenated or appended, or maybe it will provide you error. Or the numpy array can provide you these things, these functionalities. So that's why we generally use this numpy array. So there's a property of numpy array. There's a property called shape. So if you ask what is the shape of this array, it will say 10 comma, because there are 10 elements, right? Because there are 10 elements. Okay. Because there are 10 elements, that's why it is giving like 10 comma, and it is a single vector. Everyone know that vector is like one dimensional, we can say, right? Or not even one dimensional. So vector is like simple vector, that's why it is giving 10 comma. So you can create arrays in 2D, 3D, 4D, or even n dimensional, right? So you can create different dimensional of numpy array. So I am just giving you one small example. For example, let's suppose you have array 1, and there's a function called np.random. This is a submodule, and inside this, the function name is called random int. Let's just call this function rand int. It will take 3 things. So basically 2 things. So important are 2 things. So I want to generate a number between 10 to 50. Let's just say. Let's just say I want to generate a number between 10 to 50, and it will generate a random number. Every time you execute it, it will generate a random number, right? But what if you want to generate the whole array? What is random? Random is basically a submodule, kind of a submodule, right? So if you want to generate the whole array, 2D array, 3D array, what you can do, you can pass another parameter which is called size, and you can give what is the size of your array. Maybe let's suppose I want to create a 2D array. So I will give 5, 5. And now you can see it has created 5, 5 2D array. And all these are random numbers, right? So let me just save it in array 1. Let's just say, and I will print array 1. Array 1, let's just say, okay. Uh, Random is submodule. This random is the submodule, and rand int is the function name. It's not ent, it's int, just random int. There are different type of random functions. So there is one called rand, and there's a normal random functions as well. But it's rand int because it will always generate integer values. Okay. Right. So now what you can do. So let's Similarly, like if you want to generate 3D array, you can do that as well. So if you ask what is the shape of array one, the shape of array one would be 5 comma 5, right? Okay. I hope this is fine. Why this is giving 5 comma 5? Because you have 5 rows and 5 columns, right? Okay, so now the thing is, if you want to access this 47, what you will write? This 47. I want to access this 47 from this array. How can you access this 47? Can anyone tell? What is generally shape means? Shape means how many number of rows, how many number of columns, and if you have like 3D array, how many number of channels as well. So all the elements in each axis. Each axis, like if you have 2D, so it will have x-axis, y-axis only. But if you have 3D, so how many elements are in x-axis, how many elements are in y-axis, how many elements are in z-axis. That actually shape actually tells that thing. Okay, to access this 47, what we can do, I can do array 1, 2, comma 2. A lot of people are saying like 3, comma 3, 0, 1, 2. In Python, like I have already told you, in Python, indexing starts with 0, right? So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will again be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to access this element, it will be 2, comma 2. So a lot of people are doing first bracket 2 and then again bracket 2. So it is also fine, but generally we write this way. So if you do this way as well, it will be perfectly fine. So it will also give you 47. But most of the time we put a comma and then we say 2, comma 2, right? This way, right? Uh, if you want to access the last 23, what you can do, it's very easy. Last 23, it would be -1, -1. The last one is very easy, right? -1 and -1. This one, 23. You got the 23, right? Okay, right. So now let's talk about the way we use the list slicing. Can we do array slicing on this array? So let's talk about array slicing. So can we count manually index in short arrays? What if the array is big? Is there any method? Yes, the method is basically you can ask what is the index. So the method name is index. Pratyush, either we can use reverse indexing as well, or the method name is index. Right? Okay, so let's do array slicing. So what right now what I want to do is I want to get these elements. So let's say I want to get these 6 elements. These 6 elements, right? So using array slicing, I can get these 6 elements. How? So again, everyone know this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the syntax of array slicing in 2D is basically Aditya is asking what is the different data types. So the idea of different data types is if you use, suppose if you use int 8, it can hold only 8-bit size integer values. So if your values are like very large, the integer 8 cannot store. Similarly, then you have unsigned integer, you have float 64-bit float values, 32 bits. So it's basically what is the size of your variable, or what type of variable or what type of data you want to contain in that array. It's that simple. Nothing very fancy. Right? So the syntax is basically you write array. and here you write row indexes, then you put a comma, and then column indexes. I'll give you one example how we can. So Pratyush has already given the answer how we can access these 6 elements. But let's say how. Let me give you the example and explanation how we can do this. So let's write array 1. How many rows do we want? So first let's put a comma, right? How many rows do we want? I want from this 2 till 3. So what I will write 2:4. Why 4? I wanted till 3, but it always +1 because the second part is exclusive, right? So I will do 2:4. And then how many columns do I want? I want from this to this, as you can see, from here till here, right? So I will say from 2:5 because it is 4 plus 1, right? It is actually 4 plus 1. That's why I will write 5. Or what you can do, you can skip this 5 because what when you do not write anything, you do not put any constraint, what it will do, it will take all the elements that are available after it. So if you just write 2 colon, it will still work. And if you want to write 5, it still works perfectly fine. Now you can see 47, 48, 42, 42, 13, and 40. Right? So we have accessed these 6 elements. Now your task is to get maybe, let's take, okay, these 2 rows. Okay, so let's take these 2 rows. So these 2 rows. Okay, these 2 columns, not rows. Okay. These 2 columns, right? So write the array slicing in such a way that you can access these 2 columns. All the elements between like from 11, 20, 49, 31, 24, and 49, again 12, 47. 44. Can we write array 1 to? Okay, so Srishti has given a new way we can write that thing. So let's just say array 1, and then we put a 2 minus 2, and then 2 till -1. So I think it is not printing those values. So obviously no, we cannot do this. So lot of people has given the right answer. How we can do this? The like 2 columns. So if you want to access these 2 columns, how many rows do you want? First, you need to check all rows, all rows. So for all rows, what you will do, you will simply put a colon, right? You will simply put a colon. You'll or maybe if you want to put a constraint, what constraints you will put? 0:5, right? Or maybe just put a simple colon and it will still work. For columns, so it is starting with 1, ending with 2. So it would be 1:3 for columns, right? And for rows, it would be just simple column. That's it. Right? Okay, so let's write this as well. So let's write this as well. So array 1 is all rows. This actually means all rows, and then we put a comma. Then let's say from 1 to 3. That's it. We got these 2 columns, right? So see, NumPy is this NumPy library is like very vast. You can have lot of functions. For example, if you want to get sine value of any degree, for example, if you want to get sine, so you can use this function called np.sine. And let's say what is the value of 0? It is actually 0, right? And you want to get tan, you can also use tan. Right? So there are like lot of functions that are available with NumPy. For example, if you want to add all the elements of the array or the 2D array, so what you can use, this is a function np.sum, and just provide the array name. This array, that's it. You will get the sum of all the elements. If you want to confirm, you can add manually, but it's not required, right? If you want to take the mean, what you can do, either divide by all the element, or the function name is np.mean. So there will be lot of functions that are available with this numpy, and you have to actually use this function. So whenever you are required to use any functions, you check the documentation, you see how we have to use this function, and that's it. We actually don't learn all of these functions because there are a lot of functions. If you see np dot, if you use np dot, and you can see there are a lot of functions. So obviously we don't actually remember all these functions. So it's not required to remember all the functions, right? So as you can see, there are functions like choose. Choose is like for choosing one element out of the list, out of all elements from the list, right? And there's functions like average, bitwise XOR, or bitwise and bitwise not. So there are like a lot of functions are there. So okay, so let's what is the use of pandas? Pandas is basically used for data analysis. Like if you want to analyze your data, if you want to understand what is the pattern you have in your data. Difference between NumPy and SciPy. Uh, so NumPy and SciPy are not very different from each other. So some SciPy is basically a slightly advanced version of NumPy, you can say. That's it. Like there are some functions that are not available in NumPy, but if you look in SciPy library, you will see there are a lot of functions, and it's not necessary. Like it's not necessary to use NumPy. If you want to use SciPy, you can use SciPy as well. Which one is better, Ruby or Python? I guess Python. Yeah, we are moving towards face detection project. Pandas inbuilt on NumPy. No, Pandas is not inbuilt on NumPy, so you actually have to install Pandas as well if you want to learn Pandas. So there's another library called matplotlib. Like I wanted to know how we can use docs for better programming and learn programming. So like docs are documentations of functions are like most important, because you actually do not know how to use these new functions. Like if I give you a new function, you obviously won't understand how to use this function. So what you can do, let's suppose you want to there's a new function called reshape. Let's suppose there's a new function called reshape, right? And you do not know how to use this function. First, what you can do, just Google. If you want to do Google, just write np.reshape and put a question mark. Maybe in Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook, just put a question mark, and you will see a small documentation pop up. Just read what it is saying. It gives a new shape to an array without changing its data. That's so simple. And if you want to see the example, they have also given the example as well. So it's not very difficult to understand the documentation. So it's like very easy. As you can see, there are some examples are also given. So not very difficult. Right. So in any library, there are like lot of functions that you actually don't have to learn. You cannot learn all these functions. What you do is you understand what is the essence of this library, when we have to use this library, and what are some popular use cases of any library like NumPy, Matplotlib, any library. And then it's totally fine. You just put question mark and you understand how you use this function, right? Even they have given the example. It will hardly take 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, right? So let's go for Matplotlib. This library. This library is used for plotting any metrics. Any metrics, like you can also plot a bar graph, pie chart. There are different type of graph like scatter plot. They're all type of graphs. All the plotting are done using this library called Matplotlib. And obviously there are different libraries for plotting as well. Like There is a bigger version of NumPy called SciPy. Similarly, there is a bigger version of Matplotlib called Seaborn. So yeah, there are a lot of libraries, not just Matplotlib, but yeah, Matplotlib is one of the most fundamental libraries that we use in machine learning or data science. So to understand Matplotlib, those who are doing in Jupyter Notebook, they can install the Matplotlib using import pip install Matplotlib. It's simple. Pip install Matplotlib. Those who are working in Google Colab, it's not required. They have Google has given you the free access to all the libraries they have already installed. So just do import Matplotlib, and Matplotlib is very huge library. Like it has lot of components, lot of sub libraries. So what we'll do, we will import this sub package called PyPlot. I want to just import this small package. Obviously, you can import the whole library Matplotlib, but I want to import this sub package called PyPlot, and I will give name as PLT. Right? I will give name as PLT. So that's it. Is Colab similar to Jupyter Notebook? Yes, it is. For certificate, you have to wait for another half an hour. So let's suppose you have A1 array1, which is np.arrange from 5, and let's suppose you have array2, which is np, which is basically a1 square, a1 square. So how you want? Okay, so let's go step by step. This is a1. It will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You can see, right? Let's suppose you want to create another array, which is the square of all these elements. So what you can do, obviously there is a function. You don't have to actually do all the things manually. Function called np.square. Simple, right? I hope this is not very difficult. What this function will do, no need to read the documentation. It is very easy. Just provide a1 and it will return the square of all the elements. Let's keep it in a2. Now I want to plot a chart, or you can say a line plot. Very simple is line plot, where I will say plt.plot. The function name is plt. Plt is for matplotlib, right? Plt dot. The function name is plot. The function name is plot. This is the function name. Most importantly, this is a function name, and I will provide what is on the x-axis. As you can see, what is on the x-axis and what is on the y-axis. So I want to say a1 will be on x-axis and a2 will be on y-axis. And let's see. As you can see, it is giving a curve, right? And obviously, if you put 50, what it will do? It will give a smoother curve, right? So, okay, you want to start with phase detections. Okay, so let's do that only. Okay, no worries. So just give me 5 more minutes. I'll wind up this matplotlib and then we'll start with phase detection. So it's perfectly fine. Okay. So obviously there are like other functions as well. So one function is called plt.pie. PIE. What it will do? It will create a pie chart. Right? Everyone know about pie chart. Similarly, there is a function called bar. What it will do? It will take what is on x-axis and what are the height of each bar. Height. It will take height as an array, right? As an array, and it will create a bar graph. Similarly, there is a thing called scatter plot. It will scatter all the points. For example, in a 2D, if I want to scatter the points, something like this, I can use scatter plot, right? So yeah, box plot is also there in I guess Seaborn and other libraries. So there are different type of plots. You can use again. Just do plt.bar, put a question mark, shift enter, and you will see the documentation. What it does, makes a bar plot, and what are the parameter it receives? X and height. Obviously, you need to give the height of the bars, right? Similarly, width or lot of things. And if you want to see the example, there will be one example given at the end. I guess. Oh, they have not given any example for this. No worries, but you can check Google, right? Or their original documentation. I just one more small thing, just one small thing. Can Matplotlib work with images? Can you display images using Matplotlib? Okay, so some people are saying yes, and let's see how we can actually do this thing. And some people are also saying no. So let me just upload one image. Let's upload one image. So if you click here, this side, if you click this side, I'm just showing how to open this thing. If you click here, and you can upload a file. So I will upload a file from my computer. So let me just upload a file. Okay, so let's take Pikachu and upload image of Pikachu. Maybe this one. Okay. No. Okay, let's take this one. Okay. So let's take this one and okay. So I have uploaded this image. See, images are nothing but they are just some matrices, right? If you understand how images are stored in computer, they are just number like the simple metrics. I can show you this thing. So let's say there's a function called plt.imread because I need to read the image first. So the function is plt.imread, and I need to give the path of the image. So I can say it is something like 00. I need to wait for the autocomplete, or maybe I can pick the name from here. Just copy path, and I will put it here, right? Okay. So now, if I use this function plt.imread, you will see something, and see this thing. Isn't it looking like an array, the NumPy array? Because NumPy array also had this array of keyword and then all these things, right? So I think this is NumPy array. So we can also confirm this thing by asking what is the type of this variable. So let's keep img, the name of this variable is img. Let's keep this name, right? How to do it in Jupyter? It's again simple. You just need to read any image from your local system, and how to upload the file in Colab. It's simple. You need to click on this upload button. Upload. Okay, so this is the variable image, and now if you ask what is the type of image, what is the type of image? It will say NumPy array. Simple, right? And now you can use this function called plt.imshow. plt.imshow and pass this variable called image. So I try to end this session by max to max 10.5. So now you can see this image, right? So I hope this is clear that there are two functions. One is called plt.imread for reading the images, right? And imshow is for displaying the images. Yeah. So, and now everyone understood that images are also NumPy matrices or NumPy array, simple NumPy array, right? Ayush, maybe we can talk about pandas later, or maybe at the end of the session if we have time. Since this image variable is also a NumPy array, can you perform array slicing on this? For example, I want to extract the face of this Pikachu. I want to extract this part. I do not want the whole array or the whole image. I just want the small Pikachu face. Can we do array slicing on this? Yes, I'll share the Google Collab notebook as well. Okay, so to extract this face, what we can do, again use the array slicing. And how we can do this, I will say image. Okay, let's first understand what is the image.shape. Okay. So it is 600, 400, 3. So 600 is basically the height of the image, right? As you can see, 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, right? And this 400 is basically the width. And what is this 3? 3 is the RGB channels. If you know about colored images, they have this channel called RGB, RGB, red, green, and blue. Because any color can be combined or can be divided into 3 colors called RGB, because these are the primary colors, as everyone, like most of you know about this RGB, right? Okay, so what we want to do is, I want to take the sub array, right? Take the sub array. I want to do array slicing. So what I can do, I will do image. Okay, first tell me how many rows do I want. So I want row from here, starting from here. I will take the rough estimation, not exactly. Obviously, I do not know the exact number. So maybe let's take from 340 somewhere till 520. For the number of rows, I want to take from this to this, right? From 320 to 520. So let's take from 320 to 520. Okay, 320 till 520, and 350, 380, everything is fine. And how many columns I can take? Column will start from here, starting with here. So it is around 170 and ending at. So it is ending at. Maybe I can take the whole columns from starting from here till 390 or 380, right? 390 or 380, or maybe till 400. Everything will be fine. So starting with 170 or 180 till 390, right? And how many channels do I want? Channel basically represent number of colors. So if I want only red color or only blue color or only green color or all of these colors, I want all colors, right? So I will put just colon, or maybe you can put 0, 3 if it's fine, right? It's fine. Or just put a colon. So it will return you a subarray, and I can say this is, let's say this is crop face or Pikachu face. Let's say this is Pikachu face. Let's say this is Pikachu face, right? So there should not be a dot over here. All three. Okay, right. Now if you see plt.im show and you give Pikachu face this variable, let Pikachu face, you will see this output. So what we did is cropping of image using matplotlib or just using the Python, right? What is the maximum number of color we can give? So Ashutosh, it's not number of colors, it's actually about channels. So RGB has always 3 channels, red, green, blue. So that's why I want to take all the channels and I have given this column, right? So the simple image cropping using like image processing using matplotlib. So right? And if you want to save this image, what you can do, plt.imsave. There's a function called plt.imsave. You can use this function, right? And just give so just give the file name. So file name, let's suppose Pikachu face.jpg. Let us say, and what is the array name? Array is like Pikachu face. So let's give these two things, Pikachu face. So if you are saving plt.imsave, you can see here that you have generated a file over here. As you can see, Pikachu face dot, and you can download this, right? the image quality will not be degraded. So it will not have any effect on image quality. It will be fine. Okay, so maybe I think this much is fine about matplotlib and numpy. So let's quickly move for face detection, right? If you want only one color, what you can do, so there are three color, right? RGB. So you can only extract the first color. So something like 0, 1. So where I put this colon because I wanted to take all the channel. You can take the red channel, something like this, 0, 1. It will take only one channel, red color. Okay, so maybe I download this thing. So let me just download this notebook. I'll upload this to same link, and then we'll do the face detection. If you have any doubts, maybe I can. How to blur the image? Uh, it will have then blurring the image will have like different criteria or maybe a different function. So you need to maybe we can discuss that later. Like to do you need to create a filter. So you need to create a filter first and then apply that filter on the image. So we need to understand the convolution operation first for creating a blur image, and it will be difficult for now. So maybe you can skip that part, or you can mail me that thing, and I'll discuss the strategy. How can we do this? Yeah, we're starting with face detection. So to do face detection, we need to have an image first. So let's take any image. So any image, right? So let's take any group image. I need to take any group photo. So let me just take any group photo. You guys can also take any group photo, and we'll try to find number of faces on that photo. So maybe this photo will work fine. Maybe let's try on this photo, right? So I need to upload this photo on Google Colab, right? So let's click on this group photo and let's save this photo first. It will not work on animated photo, or, although you can use video. So it will not be difficult. Like video, doing this on video is fine, but animated image, I exactly don't know if it works on animated images or not. It might not work on animated image. So let me just let's upload this photo. If you're not spelling it, So slicing, the cropping of the image I did manually. Obviously, like I had to count number of rows and that thing. But you can have like interactive button or the cursor type of things where you can drag and crop that thing as well. So it will be fine. So you need to upload the file. I guess it was on desktop. Yeah, desktop. So let's. So this is the group photo, and let's upload this. It will also work on PNG images, so no worries. So GitHub repo, I guess everyone know about GitHub repo, right? So maybe I can put again. So yeah, in the description box, I'll put the link of the GitHub, right? So let me just import NumPy as np. Let's import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. These two things. And let's read this group photo. And how do we, so can we get the recording? So you will get the recording. Like I do not know when they will delete this, the file from this video from the account, but as long as it is there in YouTube, you can access this. So I'll provide you the link, even the video link. You can download the video and you can watch offline. Right? So let's read this image, and you can do plt.imread, and let's pass group photo. So let's copy path, and let's right. Where can I find GitHub? So I have already given the GitHub link, so maybe I can post it again. Just a second. So this is the link. So okay, this is the link. GitHub. So let's display this image plt.imshow, and you just write image. So this is my original image, right? And I'm increasing the font. Okay. So this is my image, and I want to display, or I want to get all the faces. I want to plot maybe a rectangle around all the faces, right? Let's just say. Okay, so let me see what is the image dot shape. Just for fun, like how many rows are there, how many columns are there, what is the height and width of this image. It's fine. Let's just say, okay, so height is 333 and the width is 500. Okay, so now we can start working with face detection. So the face detection that we are going to do, this is, so one important thing is we are using OpenCV library for face detection. So, and obviously there are different type of face detection you can do. There are other things as well. You can use deep learning, if you have heard about deep learning for face detection. But right now I am using cascade classifiers. So what is cascade classifier? So if you have heard about hard cascade classifiers, so they are actually kind of classifiers, you can say, or there are some machine learning models that are actually learned on lot of faces. For example, 100,000 faces, and these are some generic faces. Like this classifier, this hard cascade classifier, or the machine learning model actually know how a general face look like. General face actually means that face can be from Asia, from Africa, maybe from Europe, America. It can be from anywhere. It actually know how a general face look like. Means it will have eyes, nose, mouth, ears, something like that, right? So OpenCV has created this hard cascade classifiers for you. So they have open source. So what you can do is search on Google OpenCV hard cascade XML files. What is 3 in shape, Shashank? So 3 is basically a channels. Generally, if you have heard about RGB channel, RGB color mode के बारे में सुना होगा, that the image is RGB image. So that is 3, RGB and RG and. So just click on like OpenCV hard cascade XML files. Click on the first link. these are different type of XML files that are available with the OpenCV, right? So the one which we are going to use is basically har cascade frontal face XML. So this file, har cascade frontal face default.xml. What this file is capable of doing is it can find faces that are front faces only. If you are facing to the left side or the right side, it won't be able to do, right? Similarly, there are different type of XML file. For example, if you want to find the eye, just eye, you can use this file, harcascade eye.xml. If you want to find the smile, you can use this file, harcascade smile.xml. Similarly, upper body or profile face, lower body, there are a lot of things, full body, right? Which file we are going to use right now? Harcascade frontal face default.xml. So click on this file, and this is an XML file. If you do not know about XML, so XML is a kind of HTML where you can create your custom tags, but obviously we don't have to write XML right now. Just click on this file. Okay, I have clicked there. Frontal face default.xml. So the XML file will be opened up, and you need to download this file basically. Yes, see, OpenCV is also available for C++, right? So yes, you can use C++ OpenCV version, but right now we are doing Python, so let's stick to Python. So yeah, this is the XML file that we need. So let's right click on this and click on Save As. So we need to save this whole file, and let's come to desktop. And okay, so let's click on Save, right? Just Okay, so we need to click on raw first. Let's click on raw, and now we can save. Let's click on raw first. How to reach to this file? Just write OpenCV XML files, and you will get the GitHub link. Or maybe just click, just go to this link, cv.lk/face model. cv.lk/face model. I'll give you the link on chat box. cv.lk/face model. Just go to this link. cv.lk/face model. Okay, you didn't get, you can go to this link, cv.lk/face model. Now you can download this file from this button. Just click on download button. Can we use all Cascade files together? So it's generally not required. Why do you want to use all Cascade files together? So it's not required. So click on direct download. It would be fine. So you have downloaded the file, and now we can upload this file to our collab, right? So let's upload this file. So I'm doing drag and drop. So I have uploaded the file now. No, all of these XML files are for different purpose. All of these are not just detecting faces. They are detecting different things. For example, one is detecting eye, one is detecting nose, one is detecting the whole body, one is detecting the car plate number. They are different files. You can use Ananya. You can use on any of these files. Either just click on go to cv.lk/face model, or download from the GitHub from here. So right now I have downloaded from cv.lk/face model, so it will work fine. You can download from anywhere, right? So you have this file, right? First, what you need to do, import OpenCV, right? So to import OpenCV, what you can do, import CV2. So CV2 is the version of OpenCV. So there is version CV3 as well, but that is not very stable. That's why we use import CV2 only. So let's import CV2, and this is the model, right? This is the har cascade model. This is the har cascade model. So we need to read this file. To read this file, there is a function called cv2 dot capital C. Just write capital C cascade classifier. So the function name is cascade classifier, where C is capital, both C are capital. This one, this C, and this C. So just if you write on your own and if you write the whole function name with maybe C as small, so it will give you the error. And let's put the file name. Let's take copy path and put the file name, right? And let's call it as model. Let's call it as a model, right? Let's call it as model. Okay. Can I do save as? Yes, you can do save as, Utkarsh. So this model has a function called detect multiscale. Detect multiscale. So now what you need to pass is this image, your image. So just pass this image, and now you can see it has returned something. It has returned something. So I am saying, let's suppose these are faces. Let's suppose these are faces. Okay, if import CV2 is giving error on Jupyter Notebook, what you can do, just write this thing, pip install, pip, okay, I'll write pip install, just a second, pip install OpenCV hyphen Python. Oh, just a second, OpenCV hyphen Python. Just write this thing, pip install OpenCV hyphen Python, and you'll be able to import on Jupyter Notebook as well. Because you want to install the Python version of your Jupyter Notebook, of your OpenCV, not the C++ version, right? So just write pip install OpenCV Python on your Jupyter Notebook, and it will be fine. For those who are doing in Colab, they don't have to write it. So I'm saying faces is equal to model dot detect multiscale and image, the image that we have uploaded. And what is this faces? Oh, spelling mistake. Faces. You can see this is a numpy array, but what this numpy array is actually is. So let me see what is the shape of numpy array. This numpy array faces. It is actually 7,4. So it means there are 7 faces. It means there are 7 faces. One phase is this, second phase is this, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. And what, like, each phase has 4 different properties. First property is the x coordinate of that phase. For example, if you want to plot a rectangle, first property is basically the x coordinate. Second property is the y coordinate of the starting point. Third property is the width of the face, this. And the fourth property is the height of the face. So if you want to plot any rectangle, what you can do, you can use these 4 coordinates. You can use these 4 coordinates to plot a rectangle, right? So what we can do, we can iterate over all the faces. Let's say for face in all the faces and x, y, w, and h, I want to get these 4 properties from one face like this. I will put this face, right? Okay, it should be just face. And now I want to plot a rectangle, right? So rectangle is cv2 dot rectangle. So the function name is cv2 dot rectangle, and the first thing I need to give is the image. So I will write image. The second thing I want to, second parameter is the point one. Point one is the top left coordinate. So you can work on default version. Utkarsh, you can work on default version as well. So it's not, it's totally fine. It's totally fine, right? So you need to give x and y coordinate of the, like for example, if this is the face, let's just say if this is the face, this is the first point, right? And it will have a coordinate of x comma y. These coordinates, this is x, This is y, and this is height and width and height. The second parameter that you need to give is this second point, this bottom right point, bottom right, this one, this bottom right point, this bottom right. So it will be x plus w. I hope everyone know if this is x and this is w, so it will be x plus w and y plus h, right? I hope this is fine. So let's give the third parameter as x plus w and y plus h. And there are more parameters, like you need to provide the color. So let's suppose I want to give a red color. So red color in the RGB format is basically, you can say 255, 255, 255. So this will be white color. So let's give, okay, or if you want to give a black color, just write 000. In RGB format, 000 basically means a black color. And then the thickness of that rectangle, the rectangle that you will plot, it will have a thickness. So let's suppose thickness is 2 pixels. And let's return an image. And now let's try to plot plt.im show, plot this image. And now you can see it has detected all the faces. Yeah, Pratyush has given that for the red color, if you want to plot the red color, just write 00255. It will plot the red color. Red color for this rectangle. So I can summarize. So this is how you can plot rectangles around the faces. And if it will have multiple faces, all the faces will be detected. Just one thing that I wanted to share, that you can also extend it on live camera or on video, any video as well. So, but obviously, like right now, I cannot write the code for video camera or that, because already the YouTube is also accessing the webcam, and I cannot put it off. So. Can we use circle? I guess circle we cannot do, because this this property detect multi-scale. It gives you 4 properties: height, width, x, and w. And for rectangle we need radius. So how do you find radius? So if you somehow find the radius, then you can plot the rectangle. Like GIF are also kind of video. Like it can work with images, so it will work with videos. So videos would be fine. I do not know about GIF and never tried. Yeah. So maybe we can just summarize in 2 minutes. So importing all the necessary libraries, right? Reading the file, image file, whatever the image you have. Maybe you can put your own images, group photo, something like that. Displaying the image and checking the shape. It's just for fun. Import CV2, because CV2 is like OpenCV library that will help you to detect images, detect the faces on the image. Then this has a function called cascade classifier, because we talked about cascade classifier. What are hard cascade classifier? They are trained on machine learning algorithms. So one popular algorithm is called AdaBoost algorithm. They are trained on AdaBoost algorithm. So not going to that detail, how they are trained, how they have trained on multiple, like 100,000 images. But they already have trained this model. What we are doing is we are taking advantage of that model simply, right? Using the help of OpenCV library. And we are passing this XML file on this CV2 cascade classifier. We are calling it a model, right? Because it will be able to detect faces. And then the function name is model.detect multiscale and the pass image, right? And you will get faces. Faces, you will get, like for example, if you have 50 faces on your image, you will get 50, 4. Why 4? Because it will always have 4 properties. One is x, second is y, xy coordinate of the top left corner, and then width and height of each face, right? And then I'm just iterating over all these faces and then extracting x, y, w, h from each face. Like each face has 4 properties, and then I'm putting a rectangle around that face. Simple. On which image I have to plot the top left coordinate, then bottom right coordinate. This is the color. This is uh, the pixel of that rectangle, and then simply I'm displaying that image. What is D type integer? Sahil, Salil. So it's D type is similar to whatever the type of your array. So if you want to create an integer type array, numpy array, you can use D type int. If you want to create D type float type array, you can use D type as float. Some of you were getting errors. So like Ritik Yadav is getting error, and like a lot of people are also getting error. So it's perfectly fine. Like every time we run the code, sometimes we get error, sometimes it works fine. But if you are getting error, there are two possible cases why you are getting error. First thing is you have not uploaded this file correctly, or maybe this file is corrupted. Right. So just go to this link again, cb.lk/face model, cb.lk/face model, download this file, upload this file again, and read it very properly, right? Very carefully. Just don't mess up with the code, and it will work fine. Second case is your image is not, maybe we can say image is corrupted, or you have not displayed this image, and maybe there is something wrong with the image. Either something wrong with the image, or maybe something wrong in this file. So check both of these things, right? Pixel 2 is basically the length with the width of this rectangle. As you can see, this rectangle has some width, and it's actually 2 pixel. If you want to keep 5 pixel, it will be a thicker rectangle. Can we use the same code in the live webcam? No, you cannot use the same code in the live webcam. Or you want to, okay, so obviously no, you cannot use the same code in the live webcam. For that, you need to write something different. Okay, so like a lot of people are asking for a certificate. So maybe let's. Okay, yeah. Those who want to see the recording again, they can go to this link. So I'll provide you the link. I'll provide you like all the 3 links how you can watch the recording. So recording is cb.lk/19 August. So when you go to this link cb.lk/19 August, you will be redirected to the YouTube, right? So hopefully, yeah, you will be redirected to YouTube. So this. So fine. So this is the link for if you want to see the video again, cb.lk/19th August AUG. Right. cb.lk/19 AUG. I'll put on the chat option cb.lk/19 AUG. Right. Okay, and the code link is there, cb.lk/19 August/code, right? And I'll provide you the link for certificates. Just a second. Let me see what is the link. So yeah, I'll upload the file just in a 2 minutes. So like those who are waiting for certificate will. Let me just provide certificate link for them, and then if anyone will have doubt, maybe we can take 5 more minutes. cb.lk/certi /19 August. Yeah. So just go to this link, and this is the link for certificate. Just provide all the details, your name, email, and you will get in within 2 days. So most probably by tomorrow, or otherwise within 2 days, you will get the certificate. Sam, who was asking for 2 pixel is basically the width of this rectangle. If you put the width rectangle as 5, you will have a thicker rectangle. That's it. So maybe I can put this on chat also. cb.lk/30/19 August, right? So this is the link for certificate, and the code link is same, cb.lk/19 August/code. Let me know if you have any doubt regarding any session, or maybe anything if you want to discuss or ask. Otherwise, we'll wind up. And yeah, my name is Mohit Uniyal. So I'll type. So my name is Mohit Uniyal. You can put that. So I guess. So yeah, we will be conducting more sessions on ANN, CNN, like on deep learning as well, and some practical applications like creating movie review predictions or image classifications, kind of things. So you can, I guess you can check on LinkedIn account. So there they post like coding blog, from the coding blog account. There they post all the details regarding all the application, all the workshops or webinars. Maybe in C++ or data structures algorithms, all these. Right? So we'll be doing more sessions, maybe from the next weeks or in September's also. Yeah. So if you want to, maybe if you want some more extension of this project, mini project, like you want to detect smile or you want to detect full human body, you can also do that thing as well. Maybe you can mail me and you can ask things like, or you can ask on LinkedIn if you want some extensions, right? If you want to put it on video, how to do live detection in video or maybe on camera, just put me a message me on LinkedIn. I'll provide you the details on GitHub, or maybe I'll provide you the script that can actually do that thing. But the basic is fine, right? I hope you got the point how we can do simple face detection on any photo, and image cropping that we have seen, like very small part image cropping. Hope you will practice that thing as well. And also one thing you can do, for example, you have 4 images. Let's just say you have 4 images, image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, something like this, image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4. There's a function called hstack, np.hstack, np.hstack. What this hstack will do, hstack will horizontally stack 2 images or 2 array. So what you can do, you can horizontally stack these images. Then there's a function called vstack. So once you have horizontally stacked these 2 images and these 2 images also, you can vertically stack these 2 components, and it will become something like image collage, right? You have 1 image over here, you have second image, you have third image, you have fourth image, right? You can use hstack on these 2 images. Again, you can use hstack on these 3 and 4 images, and then you can use vstack on these 2 components, and then it will become something like an image collage. So that will also be great things, right? So I think we can wind up the session. If you guys have any doubt, mentor for the workshop, I have already told you, my name is Mohit Uniyal. If you just put Mohit, it would be fine. Right. Mentor, I have already given. So, okay, we'll see the link then, right? Yeah, we'll also talk about face recognition as well. So how we can recognize who is this in this image, not just only about face detection, but also we'll talk about face recognition. Right? Yeah, we'll be doing other sessions like maybe on how to generate fake text, like speeches or songs, lyrics of songs or something like that. I'll upload this file as well on GitHub, so don't worry about that, right? So if there are no doubts, maybe we can then wind up the session, right? So thank you so much for attending and being patient till at the end of the session. So we are overshooting time, so it's already we are image prediction using machine learning. So we'll be doing like image classification or image prediction, like in some other. How to extend this on real-time detection? So you need to create that script. You need to create that script. Maybe you can put me an email or on LinkedIn. I'll provide you that script, right? So thank you so very much, everyone, and thank you for attending again. And see you in some other session. And hope you like the session and maybe subscribe to channel. GitHub link is already there, right? cb.lk/19august/code. So yeah. Bye everyone. So for LinkedIn, search me with my name Mohit Uniyal. You will find the profile, right? So bye everyone. Thank you very much for attending once again. Thank you.